So should you be buying properties right now, or should you be waiting? Now, I've been in property for 16 years. I bought around 40 properties, and over that time, I can say I've seen good markets, bad markets, mediocre markets. I've seen it all in that time. And I can say that actually the best time to buy property is always. You should always be buying property, but you need to understand the market that you're in, and you need to understand how to buy like a professional property developer. If you're doing that, you'll be fine. So what I mean by that is if you're buying a property, you're doing it up to sell it on, like I do for a lot of the time, then you need to make damn sure that when you bought that property, you have a significant discount locked into the value of that property, not the asking price, but the value of that property when you're buying it, so that when you come to finish the refurbishment and sell it on, you've already got enough of a profit locked in that you're not relying on the market having to go up for you to actually have to make any money. Now, don't get me wrong, when the market does go up, even in the short term, which it often can, then you'll be fine because you'll see the benefits from that rising market and you'll do better than expected. But you can't, under any circumstances, be relying on the market going up for you to make that deal work. The deal should work if the market doesn't go up. So you're securing that profit from day one. And in fact, the deal should work even if the market goes down a little bit. So you've locked in enough profit to make sure that even if you have to sell for less than you expected, you're still making a decent return on investment. You're still making that time and effort worthwhile because you've actually generated enough profit from that deal. So the time to buy is always, because here's the thing, if you're in a good market, you'll get more than what you expected because the prices will probably be going up, and that's great. But if you're in a bad market, you've got less buyers, but you've also got to probably have less competition from other developers. A lot of developers will be running scared in a bad market. So in some ways, you've got the ability then to stand out, but you need to make sure that you've got that property at the right price, because if you haven't, then everything gets so much more difficult when it comes to sell. So when you get it locked in, you get that discount locked in so much so that even if you've bought the property in an okay market, let's say, and then the market drops, that you can still make money because you've locked in enough discount to make that worthwhile. So how do you do that? How on earth do you lock in discounts that good that you can make money in any market, even if the market's falling? And don't get me wrong, it's harder to make good money when the market's falling, but you can still do it if you're buying well enough. And you buy well, quite simply for a numbers game. So the more properties you see, the more agent conversations you have, the better the relationships that you have with estate agents in your area, the better the deals you have. And it's also about timing. When you're right place, right time. If a deal has just fallen through, if someone is selling a property, they didn't want to accept your offer in the first place, but guess what? They might be more open to it if a deal has just fallen through because that property might have a problem. It might not be mortgageable. It might be cash buyers only. It might be an issue on the survey with some damp or some roof problems or structural problems that rendered that property unmortgageable. So that's when you can swoop in and get your offer accepted. So a numbers game and timing as well. But you should always be buying, because you're always buying, essentially, there's always opportunities. Waiting doesn't make you any money. It's an opportunity cost in itself. You're sat there waiting, not doing anything, you're not buying anything, then you're not be making any money. So you need to know always there's a good time to buy. When the market's bad, yes, it's harder to make the better margins if it's in a falling market in particular. But like I said, you get less competition. You get a lot of people running away from flipping property as a strategy, which is a massive opportunity because you can essentially capitalize when everyone else is running away. And that can be that can create big opportunities. But when the market's going up, that's great. You enjoy more profits, but you can't ever rely on that. That's not a strategy. And when you're flipping properties, you should be doing deals from start to finish in around about 6 months. Now, sometimes deals go a little bit longer. It might take a little bit more than that in some cases. But if you're doing fairly straightforward refurbishment projects, then getting the keys in your hand on purchase to cash in the bank on sale should be about 6 months, there or thereabouts. And if you're doing that, even if the market's rising, you're not going to see that much of an increase in values. So it's important that you've locked in that discount from day one. So hopefully this is useful for you. It gives you that motivation to go out there and buy a property at the right price, lock in that profit, maximize the profit that you can get from flipping properties through buying well, keeping those costs down on the refurbishment, but maximizing the value as much as possible. If it's useful for you in some way, go ahead, smash that like button and subscribe to this channel, and you'll see me again in the next one.